In the last few videos, we talked about the 5 topics you need to learn from a company's perspective that will make you invaluable and that will help you grow in your career. But now I want to talk about 2 topics that companies haven't said they care, but they're important for you to grow your career very, very quickly. The first topic is the art of UX pitch, where you need to think about how you build your portfolio, how you pitch your work, and how you communicate your ideas in different forums. Generally, the common task that you would be expected to do is you're creating a portfolio for your job interview, or you're presenting to a client to get approvals, or you need to convince your stakeholders about why something should be done the way you're pitching it, or maybe even pitch your idea. Traditionally, the way it's done is you make a lot of formal presentations or you compile a set of projects to build into your portfolio, and you talk through all of them. The problem with this approach is when you get into the workspace, your presentation might not resonate with your audience, who might range all the way from business leaders to your peers or your clients. Each one of them requires a different style of communication. The second aspect is people may not get excited about your idea. They may not care about what you're talking about, and probably the worst outcome is that you never get noticed for the work you're doing. Let's look at the example of a portfolio. When I am looking to hire people and I look at a portfolio, I am looking to understand, does this designer understand the different design principles? What problem are they solving? How are they solving this? What is their approach? What are the alternatives they had, and how did they decide that this was the best course of action? If I understand that, even if they did a bad design, I understand their design philosophy. For me, that's a win. I want to hire that person. So let's take an example of one of the portfolios that I received. Here, I look at the main screen, the first screen, and like, wow, this is promising. I think this individual may be good. But as I start looking through the portfolio, I start realizing that I do not see any reasoning or rationale behind why certain decisions have been made. I see that certain processes have been done, but okay, well, why did you do research before and not after? Right? What was your thought process? Well, okay, you've identified a set of colors and fonts, but when are you using those colors and how do you plan to use those colors? And why are you doing it in the way that you're doing it? So in the first example, I struggle to understand that logic. And so for me, I would not be able to give that the credit that I think I want to give to this individual. Now let's look at a second portfolio. In this portfolio, this designer has spent the first half of their presentation simply talking about the problem they're trying to solve and their approach towards solving that problem. And that is really important. I don't care about the specific screens, but I see that this individual has a very strategic approach to design. And then as I look through the remaining screens, I realize that they have systematically solved each of the problems that they said they would, and they've connected the problem to the solution. And for me, that's a win. So at the end of the day, what is required for the art of UX pitch? Right? Obviously, you need to have the projects in place, you need to have the platform, and you need to have some sort of a social media presence. But more important than that, you want to be able to align your communication to your audience. Is it a designer? Is it a product manager? Is it a business leader? And align it to what they're looking for. The second aspect that you need to think about is learn to tell your story in a compelling manner. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the art of organizational influence. How do you influence all the different people in the organization to listen to you? How do you influence them to include your inputs within the product roadmap? How do you influence them to help you build your career?